Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Saturday, April the 6th. Now, we just got 4 games tonight, guys, so it is a small Saturday slate. We do have one early game today. There's a game that starts at 3:30 Eastern between the Cavs and the Lakers, and I do actually have a prop that I like from that game, so wanted to go ahead and get this video out. Hopefully by the time you're watching this video, that game won't have started yet and you can still play this prop. But we only got 2 picks for today since it is just a smaller slate. But we're going to talk through these 2 plays, guys. We're going to share why I like them. Before we do get started, though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, you can sign up, linked down below in the description. Or just make sure to use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up for Prizepicks, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. And we do also have a partnership with Sleeper. You guys can check out Sleeper, linked down below in the description. Or again, just use that promo code NOAH over on Sleeper, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $500. Now, Sleeper, they are a DFS pickup map similar to Prizepicks, where you pick over or under on player projections. You build out an entry. You're able to make up to an 8-pick entry on Sleeper. You're able to win up to 100x your money. Sleeper does do a lot of promos throughout the week. They do discounts. They do protected plays. I think they did a protected play yesterday. So they're always doing discounts throughout the week. They give out free squares to all new users as well. So it's definitely a cool site to play. If you guys want to check them out, again, use that code NOAH. When you do sign up, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $500. But let's talk through what I'm liking for Saturday, guys. Now, I do want to recap our plays from Friday before we talk through what I'm liking for today. So Friday was not a great day, man. We gave out 3 picks Friday, only hit 1 out of the 3 picks we gave out. Probably should have hit 2 out of the 3, but Naz Reid lost about 3 or 4 minutes for blowout in that Timberwolves game last night, and he finished like 0.3 fantasy points short of going over his projection. But we gave out 3 picks. Chet Holmgren over 38 fantasy score. Chet really didn't have that great of a game. I mean, he was all right. Friday, I think he had like 13 points, like 8 rebounds. He did have 3 blocks, but he lost some minutes for blowout. Also was in some early foul trouble. Only wound up playing about 28 minutes. I was expecting Chet to play about 32 minutes. If Chet would have got those 4 extra minutes, maybe he goes over his fantasy score. But we didn't hit that pick. We did get lucky with Miles McBride over 26 fantasy score. I was not feeling great about that play once we got news that OG Anunoby was going to play, because when we got that news that OG was going to play, that moved Miles McBride to the bench. Miles McBride was probably not going to play but like 20 minutes. However, Josh Hart wound up getting ejected last night, and that allowed Miles McBride to pick up more minutes. He wound up starting the second half. So we kind of got lucky with the Miles McBride play. That was definitely not looking good once we got the news that OG was going to play. But Josh Hart getting ejected definitely helped Miles McBride last night. And then the Naz Reid play was frustrating. I mean, he comes up 0.3 fantasy points short of going over his projection. Lost about 4 minutes for blowout in a game with they had like a 5-point spread. I mean, what can you do, man? But we got 2 more picks to talk about for today, guys. Let's bounce back. Let's get back on track. Let's hit both these plays for Saturday. So let's talk through what I'm liking. First play we're going to be taking a look at is going to be a fantasy score prop. And I do like a play from this Cavs and Lakers game. That's going to be Donovan Mitchell at 37.5 fantasy score. And I like the over here. I was on Donovan Mitchell's over fantasy score last slate. It was at 36.5 when they played the Suns. And I think at 37.5 today against the Lakers, it looks a little bit too low again. Because if you look at last game against Phoenix, we saw Donovan Mitchell finally kind of get back on track, put up 41.6 fantasy points. But what really stands out last game is that Donovan Mitchell got back up to play in full minutes. He played 37 minutes last game, or 38 minutes. He played 38 minutes last game, and he lost about 2 minutes for blowout. He subbed out with like a minute and a half left. So had last game been competitive, we might have seen Donovan Mitchell play like 39, 40 minutes. Now, is Donovan Mitchell going to play 39, 40 minutes today? Probably not, but I think he does play 35, 36 minutes if it's a competitive game. This game has a 4.5-point spread, so it should be competitive. And when we get 35, 36 minutes from Donovan Mitchell, typically we can bet on him putting up more than 37.5 fantasy points. This is someone that has averaged 1.3 fantasy points per minute this season. And if you look at what he's done when he's played at least 36 minutes, 10 out of his last 12 games playing at least 36 minutes, he's gone over this fantasy score line. And over his last 25 games playing at least 36 minutes, he's gone over this line in 21 out of his last 25 games. playing at least 36 minutes. Now, the Cavs have dealt with some injuries this season. They've had some games where they've been without Evan Mobley. They've had some games where they've been without Darius Garland. I think Jared Allen has even missed a couple games this season. Well, now the Cavs are fully healthy. Evan Mobley's healthy. Jared Allen's healthy. Darius Garland's healthy. Well, if you look at what Donovan Mitchell has done this season when he's played with all those guys, obviously Donovan Mitchell, he would get like a boost if Mobley were to be out one day, or, if Darius Garland gets ruled out one day. Like, obviously that's going to help Mitchell. But even if you look at what Mitchell has done when he's played with Mobley, with Allen, with Garland this season, they've been healthy for 25 games. So those four guys, Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, and Allen, have all played together in 25 games this season. And Mitchell has still gone over this fantasy score line in 17 out of those 25 games. So still, a lot of the games this season he's played with the Cavs fully healthy, he has still been able to put up more than 37.5 fantasy points. And I know that Mitchell, he was a little bit rusty when he first came back from injury. The game against Philadelphia didn't really play that well. Game against Denver didn't really play that well, but he finally looked good last game against Phoenix. The minutes got back up to the high 30s. And, the Cavs, they do still have something to play for. This is something that we're definitely going to have to focus on late in the season like this, because if you look at like last night, the Celtics, it was like a 15-point game. They were winning by 15 going into the fourth quarter, and they didn't play any of their starters, and it looked like they didn't have any intention on playing any of their starters in the fourth quarter. Even though the Kings made a comeback and almost won that game, the Celtics were pretty intent on resting their starters in the fourth quarter. So, for example, a team like the Celtics, they have the number one seed locked up. They don't really have anything to play for the rest of the season. They're going to be really cautious with their guys, when it comes to their minutes. The Cavs, they still have something to play for. If we look at the standings right now, the Cavs, they're only one game behind the Bucks for the 2 seed. So if the Cavs want to get the 2 seed in the East, they could easily get it, especially with the Bucks not playing well right now. And then if you look at who's behind the Cavs, the Magic and Knicks are only one game behind the Cavs for the 3 seed. So right now the Cavs are currently the 3 seed in the East, but they could move up to the 2 seed. They could drop down to the 5 or 6 seed if they lose games. So do the Cavs care about where they are in the seeding, in the standings? I don't know. I think they do. I would think most teams want to be as high of a seed as they possibly can. So I expect the Cavs to play these games, these final games, normally. And if they're competitive, I expect to see 35, 36 minutes from Donovan Mitchell. And like I said, when Donovan Mitchell plays 35, 36 minutes, I usually would bank on him putting up more than 37.5 fantasy score. So that's the first play I do like for tonight, guys. For some reason, if you aren't able to play fantasy score, there is another prop that I do like for Donovan Mitchell that you could take on sportsbooks, and that would be more than 26.5 points plus rebounds. I think that's my favorite play that's not fantasy score for Mitchell. So if you are on a sportsbook and you can get Donovan Mitchell's points plus rebounds at 26.5, I like that quite a bit. That would be my second favorite play, not fantasy score. But if you can take fantasy score, I like that the most. But then the next play I like is going to be a points plus rebounds prop, and we're going to look at Clint Capella, 20.5 points plus rebounds. And I like the over here for Capella. So Capella, he did let us down last slate, but we're going back to the well here. And, this line of 20.5, I understand why it is where it's at because of the matchup with Denver, the matchup against Nikola Jokic. We have seen a lot of times this season when centers, whenever centers face Denver, their lines are typically lower than what they normally would be just because, Jokic is a relatively good defender. Jokic is a guy that can draw a lot of fouls. So typically centers will have lower lines than normal when they face Denver. But this line for Capella definitely feels too low if we assume he's going to play his normal 26 to 30 minutes. If you look at the minutes lately for Capella, they continue to be there. The Hawks right now, they still don't have Onyeka Okongwu, and I think without Onyeka Okongwu, that just really secures the minutes for Clint Capella. The Hawks, they do have a backup center in Bruno Fernando who they will give minutes to, but I don't think the Hawks they don't want to play Bruno Fernando a bunch in this matchup against Jokic. I think Bruno Fernando would probably get exposed on the defensive end. So there's a good chance that Capella really gets increased minutes here because they're going to want him out there to defend Jokic. And if you look at the minutes lately for Capella, over their last 7 games, he's played 29, 27, 33, 27, 26, 30, and 28 minutes. So he has consistently been playing between 26 to 30 minutes. And if you look at what Capella has done this season, when he's played at least 26 minutes, he's gone over this points plus rebounds prop in 9 out of his last 11 games, playing at least 26 minutes, and he's gone over in 19 out of his last 25 games, playing at least 26 minutes. And I was also looking at his history against Nikola Jokic. I don't think that player versus team or player versus player history matters too much, but when it comes to a guy like Jokic, I think it is somewhat important just to kind of see how Capella has done in the past against Jokic. And since he's been with the Hawks, Capella has faced Denver 7 times, so he's gone up against Jokic 7 times since he's been with the Hawks. In those 7 games, in terms of his points plus rebounds, he has had 22, 23, 23, 26, 27, 18, and 32 points plus rebounds. So over in 6 out of 7 games against Denver, since he's been with Atlanta. Obviously, there's games where he played against Jokic back when he was on the Rockets, but Capella's role when he was on the Rockets is a little bit different. He was also, I would say he was a better player back then. He was just, a younger player, more active. But Capella, well, God, they just bumped the line literally as I'm making the video, man. That's frustrating. Okay, so the Capella points plus rebounds got bumped to 21.5. I think now, instead of taking points plus rebounds, we take PRA. PRA is still at 22.5, just because with PRA, you pretty much need Capella to get at least 1 assist to make that viable, or to make that like a better bet. And if Capella gets 2 assists or more, PRA is going to be a better bet than points plus rebounds. So now that they have bumped the points plus rebounds to 21.5, I like taking PRA instead at 22.5. I mean, same thing applies here. Pretty much, everything I said in terms of Capella's minutes. Obviously when it comes to assist numbers for Capella, you don't expect him to get a bunch of assists, but over his last 8 games, he has had at least 1 assist in 8 straight games. He's had 2 assists in, in 3 of those games, and there was 2 games where he had 3 assists. So if Capella gets like 2 or 3 assists, we're going to be really happy with that. Really, all we need him to do is get 1 assist to make the PRA a better bet than the points plus rebounds. So I like PRA now for Capella instead of points plus rebounds, since they literally just bumped that line as I was making this video. So Capella, more than 22.5 PRA, like that as our second bet for tonight. Again, the role for Capella has been increasing. The minutes have been increasing. I know the matchup against Jokic is a bit scary, but Capella has done well against Jokic in the past. If he can stay out of foul trouble, I think he's going to have to play like 30 minutes here. They're going to want him out there to defend Jokic. And when Capella gets 26, 27, 28, close to 30 minutes, you can usually bet on him going over this PRA line. So that's what I'm liking for tonight, guys. 2 picks, Donovan Mitchell, more than 37.5 fantasy score, and Clint Capella, more than 22.5 PRA. I already put the entry in, so I personally played Capella over 20.5 points plus rebounds, but I would recommend that you guys play Capella over 22.5 PRA instead of 21.5 points plus rebounds. There's a good chance he goes over both of those, but I could definitely see a scenario where he has let's say 10 points, 11 rebounds, and then no assist or something like that. Or 10 points, 11 rebounds, but maybe 2 assists. So like if that happens, he would obviously go under PR, but he would go over PRA. So I would probably take PRA instead now. But yeah, guys, that's what I'm liking for today for Saturday. Again, it's a 4-game slate, so there's not going to be a ton of props to love today. But as always, I do give out more Prizepicks plays over on Patreon. So if you guys enjoy these videos that I put out on YouTube and you want more content from me, check out the Patreon linked down below in the description. I usually give out anywhere from like 3 to 4, sometimes 5, 6 additional plays over on Patreon. I'll usually post like a 5 or 6 pick entry every day. I'll also highlight my favorite 2 plays. So all the plays that I post on Patreon, I'll say, okay, these are my favorite 2, and you can play those as a 2-pick entry to go along with the 5-pick or the 6-pick entry that I post. So again, if you guys want more content from me, check out the Patreon linked down below. But I appreciate you guys watching these videos and supporting the content. Hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, guys, if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to go sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video. As always, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.